Okay, we're going to go ahead and start. This is Elliot Wave Sage. Like always, none of this is financial advice. Always do what's best for you. Just use this for your education and entertainment purposes only. And I'll just jump into your questions. And I did post a market update for those that are interested and tried to cover some bigger stocks in that update. So I'll just kind of go down our list like we normally do. We'll start with Bauman, CCC, and OMGA. All right, let's take a look at those real quick. Let's go to our requested stocks. The list keeps growing. CC Therapeutics. Let's see what we've got going on here. So we go to the higher degree time frame. Is best place to start. And when my first look at this is essentially it's been in a bear market. This looks like 5 down and some kind of connector wave that either is ended here for a whole new leg lower, or it could continue to extend. This is a connector of some kind. Let's look at the monthly cycle. You could see there's no divergence at that peak, so more than likely this is a connector, because on the weekly you see you have divergence here. So I would go with this count. This actually looks like 3 waves down from here. So the bigger picture looks something like a W. We're in some kind of X, and we'll get Y later. So X can continue higher. It doesn't have to end here. Let's look at the RSI. As you could see, this peak is massive. So more than likely X is in here. So I believe we're in a new leg lower has started, and you want to look for an ABC to the downside. So then I would just look for a 1 2 1 2 1 2. Let's look at the RSIs, and that's what that is supported. So be careful in it. There's another count. It could possibly be, but I don't like it. So I'm going to go with the more bearish count, and you'll have to do what's best for you on this. So I think more downside is coming. We keep erasing divergence. So this isn't a 3, 4, 5. We erase divergence here. We're still in the downtrend. So we could also still be in this wave too as well. We just have to wait and see how this plays out. And if for some reason it does have a bigger bounce, it just will be a short opportunity, and then you would just kind of force the label in as an impulse, and it would be a short opportunity before a massive decline lower. I wouldn't expect it to get much higher than 535 here. And I wish I had better news, but maybe you're hoping it would go down. So that's kind of where that's heading. OMGA, Omega Therapeutics, looks like kind of the same thing. It's been in a bear market since its existence. 3, 3. Now that could be a truncated bottom. And you almost erased divergence there. That could have done it. It's not enough chart data. So this one's a lot more difficult because there's not enough chart data to properly analyze it. I mean, I could label this like that with a truncation, and we're in a new bull market, or we're still in Y and we need one more leg lower. You're going to have to just do what's best for you and try to figure out. This is probably the most likely path that I have here. All right, let's go to the next one, FNGD. I think that's one we've done before, and I don't like shorting any of those, so this I would expect more downside is coming. Let's take a look. Looks like we lost our chart on this. So right now we're just going to have to look at it from a higher time frame. So this is a massive triangle here that broke A, B, C, D, E of some kind, or 3-wave move, one or the other. But this is a consolidation, some kind of B or X wave, you want to call it that. So it's some kind of B or X wave or 4 wave. This is what 4 waves, B waves, or X waves do. So that means this is either wave 5 or it's Y or it's C. But either way, that means this, when this leg is finished, it's the correction will have a massive rally, which would be like, I guess, your market crash eventually. But I believe this will just continue lower. Let's take a look here and see what we've got going on. So there's your peak, there's your first cycle. So I'm looking at this bounce here corrected the whole thing from the beginning. So I would look at this as something like a WXY, W from the beginning of his existence to X, and now we're in some kind of Y wave. We need to erase divergence. This needs to come all the way down and take out that peak. So there's definitely more downside coming as we're in wave Y. So let's take a look here. A, B, C. And we continue to erase divergence there. So it looks like a 1-2-1-2 setup, just like we're seeing in the market. Down, down, and then down, and maybe that's your first 4 and 5. And it can't be because, again, you erase divergence, so it's another 1-2, down. So perhaps the first wave 3 could be ending soon, but I would expect more acceleration lower. So it doesn't look like it's bottomed anytime soon. You know, the next area that it could find a reversal for wave 4 for this leg of the impulse would be somewhere around this area. As you can see, more reverse splits are coming. So just like we expect, the market's probably going to melt up, and this reinforces that idea of a melt up coming. This looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So maybe this first wave 3 is finishing up here, and then we'll get a wave 5. But my guess is when this happens, it'll erase divergence, and this will come another 1, 2. Just my guess based on where we are with it. So it's got a lot more downside to come. But I would be looking for, when I would be more alert, ready to buy it, is when this divergence, this peak gets taken out. When we drop and take this peak out, then I would be more inclined to get more cautious on the market, and then also that would be a danger sign. So good luck. It looks like I got some super chats coming in. Thanks again for super chats, guys. I really appreciate that. So Anonymous, we'll go to you here. MGI, yeah. So I do see crypto trying to turn. It's trying to reverse, and I do think this weekend I'm hoping we get some confirmation with some. I mean, some of these are more bullish, like Bitcoin Cash wants to reverse this weekend into wave 3. You know, it wants 430 this weekend. Bitcoin stuck, but I think it wants another leg higher this week. So that's what we'll have to wait and see. So MITI, where is that? Oh, MIGI. So it did extend. So what we need to do is look at it and see, did we get an impulse? Was this an impulse or still 3 waves with just a massive extension? We'll have to go to like the 4-hour. There's no divergence, so it's still a corrective move. So I would still think there's more downside risk here, just like I have it in wave 2. So 3, and I'm looking for more downside in a running, like some kind of flat correction. It's probably going to turn into a running flat, which means this C will truncate. It won't make a new low. So you're just going to need to kind of follow the impulse, and you're going to need to look for divergences being erased. So this 4-hour cycle is going to need to reset, and it looks like it's already started that journey lower. There, it broke it. So we're in a new 4-hour cycle lower. So there you go. So that's what I look for. So somewhere, it ends somewhere in here, somewhere in there. Now, if we do break this low, then this was just a massive connector for this move, and then this thing's lights out. So this is a hard stop here. This would be a hard stop at 84 cents. You have to stop out there. Or you could be riding this thing all the way to 0. All right, guys. Let's look at AEHR. That one looked like we started to reverse. It was trying to form a bottom, but we need to hold that low, and we've done that. So it looks like to me, that looks like 5 up. So because we broke this area, you can't really call that an impulse. So we're going to have to take another look at this wave and see what's going on. It could be a more complicated corrective structure that's forming. Here we have divergence. So yeah, I think our count is just off on this. I think we just needed to still call this like a 1. You know, maybe put the 2 here, and then the 3, 4, 5. You know, something like that would be the better look. And then this is just some kind of tight 3, 4 in these candles we can't see. And then this is your 3-wave move. So if this is the count, then the bottom is already in on that wick, and it's done. So as long as this low holds, this double bottom low at 1021, I would be expecting wave 3 to start next week. If this low breaks, then I would be looking for a corrective move. A, B, C, a correction, a break, a rip higher, and then ultimately more downside and a massive connector. This would be a massive connector wave, and it could do something like this. I would be looking for that. So I don't like I like trading it here on the long side against this low, but once that low breaks, I no longer like to trade this stock. I like to ignore it for a long time because it's in a sideways correction. Yeah, and it did. So it just just morphed into this. This is the count. And see, we look at this wave 3, and you see it only looks like 3 waves. But if I go into a shorter time frame, I probably can try to find the 4th wave, right? And we just go through these questions really quick in my channel. So what you have to do is so what we have here is like a 1, 2, and then we have to subdivide these. And so somewhere in here is that is this 4, right? So we have to subdivide it something like this. See, we couldn't quite see that from the count. We couldn't quite see that, but that's how it see, and so it was kind of misleading, and that's why sometimes the RSI gives us clues for things like that aren't obvious in the structure. And we saw that with this divergent top. So, like I said, I still think it's 5 waves up. I like trading it here. But I don't like trading it if that low breaks anymore. BCHG is one that I'm in that trade. And in the green, of course, looks like I nailed the exact bottom here. And it looks like to me just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 3 waves down. And we should get a wave 3 breakout next week. That's what I mean. This is what it looks like. And again, this could just be me hope, because we haven't broke $9. But until the market invalidates it, I'll go with the more bullish count. But we'll see what happens this weekend with the price action. LTCN, I wanted to see another leg lower here, but if the market is bottoming out, I have to call this bottom. But we have not taken. See, we don't have 5 here. We haven't taken this high out. We only have 3, and when I had these subdivided, I still had us in a 4. So this one's really tough because it needs to either take out this 2036 to confirm the reversal, or it's going to make one more marginal low. And then Litecoin will hit 66, and this will hit 1594. So I don't know. This is a coin. This is a coin flip. But maybe we'll get some clues this weekend on how Litecoin trades. If Litecoin can continue higher and take out this peak, I would say the low's in. If Litecoin makes that final push lower, the 66, then obviously it's not in. So you'll have to do what's best for you. But we're at the bottom. I think we're at the bottom, right? We're at the bottom. We're at the bottom of this pullback, whatever this is. And to me, I already see signs that its strength of this bounce should have reset the cycle already, I think. Let's go to the 4-hour. Yeah, you see the 4-hour has already reset the cycle. It's already reset the cycle. The 4 hours already reset it. And you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right there. So the fifth wave was just really shallow. Unlike a lot of the other cryptos on that panic, you know. So I guess I'm going to still label it bullish for now. I'll still label it bullish. And then you'll have to do what's best for you. Sorry, it's like this. And it could also be a 1, 2, 1, 2. All right. Do you see Bitcoin breaking 80? My thing with Bitcoin is we've been consolidating for so long that it's if this was just going to make a fifth wave, like I have here, right here I have it going hitting 80,000 and dropping hard. But the longer we hang around in here, the less likely this happens. The more likely this forms a massive base and it just goes higher. So I'm starting to lean towards higher. And then when I look at something like ARKB, you know, here I have, you know, an impulse, a 1, 2, a 1, 2. It's a different count, right? This isn't, I can't, maybe I could try to force a fifth wave, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but it violates my system. But even if this is 5, this would be 1, 2 of 5. It would still extend beyond 87. This correction was so deep, we have an impulse up. So I just look at these structures and it just looks to me like that Bitcoin is going to surprise to the upside, guys. And now if the dollar also isn't in a triangle because of this pump higher, it negates the triangle, and we're in this 1, 2, 1, 2 setup. Let me draw the dollar out a little bit more clear for everybody. So you have WX, okay? So you've got something like this WXY coming, and then you have this 1, 2 here. And now we're in this other 1, 2, right? And it's sloppy, but for now you can get the idea. 1, 2. Now it's a 1, 2. So what do we have coming? This is a massive decline that could be on the horizon if this happens. If that happens, then Bitcoin should be like rocket fuel. So I don't think we have this triangle anymore. I don't think this triangle is valid given what just happened here. So this is the count. And what would negate this is, of course, these highs break that I've talked about in my video. And then that would be bearish for crypto, guys. I mean, I don't see how Bitcoin can continue rallying if that happens. So we'll have to change and be more bearish in Bitcoin. But we'll see. As you can see, we're coming close to the end of the line here. We got the market is running out of room in this, whatever this sideways consolidation is here, for a big move in the dollar index, which is going to drive the metals in the crypto market. So at some point, this thing is going to come to an end, and either you're going to get a big move higher or a big move lower, and my guess is lower. My guess is lower. And if it's lower, then Bitcoin should be supported well beyond 80,000. And that's what I'm starting to see now happen. And that's my take on Bitcoin. All right, Anonymous, thanks for the super chat. Bama, let's go to your super chat. Thanks for that. Yeah, Pfizer's a great long-term investment opportunity, possibly a trade setup since it could be going into a wave 3. I think people started getting FOMO back in Pfizer when this bird flu rumors started going around, and we need another vaccine maybe this winter, and then that kind of died down. So I don't know. But let's look at the chart. What it says. We've been following this. We got the breakout. This looks like a flat correction. So this, I mean, really, the stop out area is really this level here at 25.14, because whatever this is, if this is wrong and we do break through that, then what this is, this bounce corrected this entire leg that goes all the way back up to 55, which means this would be some kind of 1, 2, or an A, B, and that means we'll get C. That means this will just go much lower. So I think technically it really has to hold. I don't think it's possible. This concept's called back it into a low, by the way. A lot of traders do this. They like buy the bottom, but they're like, hey, I don't know if it's the low, but if this isn't the low, then do I really think Pfizer's going to go into the single digits? Do I really think Pfizer is going to go into the single digits? That's what this would be saying if this low breaks. So you're back into the low. I mean, you're basically saying, I don't believe there's any fundamental scenario that I can think of that would bring Pfizer to single digits. Now, maybe I can think of one, right? Vaccine liability, right? Could there be payback coming in the future? Maybe. And maybe that could do it, right? That would do it. That would collapse the company, right? If they're liable for, and again, this is all rumor. I'm not saying they are. I don't have any opinion. I'm just saying there are people out there that do believe that there is massive liability in the future, whether they got immunity or not. That immunity can be reversed, laws can be changed, overlooked, as we've seen in our country before. So we don't know, but the market always knows. And somebody always knows. So I think if this low breaks here, then there's something brewing underneath that we don't know about yet. The public doesn't know about. But I would definitely stop out at 25. But right now, I think anywhere in this area, you're playing for this wave 3, and this could be a good trade, or it could be a good investment. You just have to do what's best for you on that. The lithium play, let's look at that. On PayPal first. Okay, PayPal. Let's go to PayPal. I haven't followed it. I don't really trade these financial companies very much. There's no action. All right. Hey, we almost hit our buy area. We had 58. We just missed it by like 50 cents. So that looks like that low's in now. Finally, and where's the stop? Yes, you see a race divergence. This is the 4-hour cycle's already turning higher. Oh, it's perfect. It looks great. 45 cycle looks like it needs a pullback off the low, right? Some kind of pullback, but it doesn't have to do that. So my stop would be right there at 50, 58. Maybe like 58.70, because if that's not the case, then of course it's going to extend lower, and then what I would change this to is some kind of WX, and then this would become like an A, B, C, and we would come down to like 53, and then I would just buy it again down here. It would just come down lower in this area. That's how I trade this, and this looks good because look, it's between the 4 and the 2, like we usually like to see those corrections. This looks good. PayPal finally looks okay, but of course you'll have to do what's best for you on this. So we'll see what happens. And could this be predicted to turn in crypto too, right? Or weak dollar weakness. And then Piedmont Lithium, what is that symbol? I think it's like PLL or something. Piedmont Lithium, let's see here, PLL. On the NASDAQ. And oh man, we're almost there. 915. If this is right, we'll get a massive just like bounce out of that. So if it's wrong, of course, it'll just keep going, melting down. So where do you stop out? You're asking where do you stop out, right? So I would stop out. Damn, it's a tough one because really, I mean, even if it comes down into these areas, I guess you just have to preserve capital, right? Um, so we'll have to look at some subdivisions. Let's take a look at what's going on here. A, B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, some kind of 3, 4, 1, 2. So this is 1, 2, 1, 2. We're in the 3 of 5 here. Let's see. This would probably be an ended diagonal more than likely. That would further our case that it's the move is almost over. If we get something like this, that would be ideal. That would be ideal to end this. Now, if we got something like that, like an ended diagonal, if we got something like this, like an ended diagonal here, then I would look at this wave 4 and then project. Yeah, so I still get my stop at 680. So I guess for capital preservation, I would just probably stop out at $6 and just have to call, but know that it could still come down to this lower area and still be a great buy. It's just the time in wasn't there. This is tough to pep. This is why it's hard to bottom pick. So what a lot of people do in this kind of situation is instead of trying to bottom pick, and you know, we've been right on my channel a lot with these bottom picks. Like we got Caravana and all these right here. So this is a bottom pick. We've been right, but we've also been wrong. So maybe the better way to play this is just let this thing do whatever it's going to do and then come out, clearly have a nice break, like something like that, and then buy the pullback. And then buy the pullback, which you'll get. And then you can buy, and then it's safer, right? But it means you're going to not get the low. It also means you'll have to, you know, curve your emotions as this runs, but then you can buy a pullback. Or you could even buy this pullback if you want to be more aggressive. You could try to buy that pullback in the 2. So that's probably a safer way to trade this instead of trying to bottom pick it. But based on my system, this is where buyers would come in. And yeah, I mean, if I get to $7 in this area, you know, I'll probably buy 1,000 shares just for the hell of it. See what happens. Why not? I mean, I'm not going to buy it here though. I will not buy it here. I will not buy it here yet. To me, this doesn't look complete. And this would be FOMO for me. It would be I got to be more patient. This is better down here. So again, we'll have to wait and see. And y'all have to do what's best for you. All right, I got a lot of super chats coming in. Again, I'll get to all the super chats. I always do. I'm just going to go in the order that I see them. Festival, AG, what is that? I think we have that here. That looks like a silver company. So 2 looks like 2 finished here in this downtrend. Although let's be careful. Yeah, let's be careful. This isn't a connector wave. Let's look. It looks like we have bullish divergence at the peak. That's great. So we have an impulse off the low. That's good. And see all that bullish divergence here. Let's make sure. Let's look at our structure. that could still be a flat, you know, even though it's close enough. So it's a flat. So I'm okay with this structure, and also knowing where the silver miners are going and where silver's going. So yeah, this looks like ready to run, man. In wave 3, this looks like ready to rip. I mean, again, is this telling you what's about to happen with the dollar? Precious metals about to get a bid, you know, another bid, like the miners. And the buy area is 582. So we're just not there. So could it take another dip lower? It's possible. And you have a good setup for a trade right here on a long side for a wave 3 pump. And if let's say we do get to 560, wave 3 could see $10. You could almost double your money because you should get another swing higher. All right, thanks for the 5. Next, cow zone for 5. Do you consider the data on extended trading hours, or is this regular hours? I just use regular hours. Some people use the extended hours, but I think you just have to be consistent with whatever you use. I can't go back and update all my charts with extended hours. I'm just going to stay with the regular hours, and it's never failed me. GDX looks like 5 up from October 23. Let's take a look at that situation in GDX real quick, guys. GDX is turning up, I think, and GDXJ. But let's see where things are here. So want to see 56. And again, I have this in this bearish structure because I see it moving in 3 waves. But this could easily be a 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, and then that will mean we'll blow past 80. So I'm not really concerned with it. So are we corrected from October? You said October? October 23. Where's October 23 at? Am I in the right? Yeah, let's go to the daily time frame. October 23 is here. So 5 waves up. So it doesn't look like 5 waves up to me because this, unless this low didn't break. Let me see. Did it hold? Yeah, it held. Okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah, so that's one interpretation. That's one interpretation, right? And it's accurate if you're in an Elliott wave. If you're into Elliott waves, right? This is a very accurate count. There's nothing wrong with that count. So let's take a look at the situation on the higher time frames first and see. So I put the low here. Let's go to the monthly. So it's hard to see it, but you see this peak is lower on February 24 than it is on August. So to me, the correction actually ended on February 24. So I actually don't label this as a 1-2. I actually label this as part of the corrective structure, and I put X there. So that's like a big difference. So that's a big difference right there. And I would label this, you know, 1, 2, 3, and then I would label this some kind of, you know, 3, 3, and then 3 down, and then now we have a Y wave that needs to happen. And so we should get another 3rd wave. So that's why I don't have this as a 5th wave. So my count is a lot different here. And this is some kind of 2 wave. So that's how I would label the GDX. Now the GDXJ is a little different. The GDXJ does show a more classical 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2 count. And it does look like from October 23, it does look like 5 waves up, and we are pulling back in wave 2. So I think the GDXJ chart shows what you're trying to say. The GDX doesn't have the same chart because of how it bottomed with the RSIs here, way back in 2015. So, but I could easily make the charts match. But to me, I'm not really too worried about that yet. I want to see how we pump out of this. But we should pump out of this. We should pump out of it. And so the GDXJ should pump out too. I mean, look, we already broke this downtrend, guys, on the GDXJ. This has been the trade of 2024, guys, right? Look, February, early in the year, we were here. This has been a good trade, and it's going to be, I think, when looking back at the end of 25, this will be one of the best performing things you could have owned this year. That's the gold miners and some of these other things. Of course, NVIDIA is an exception, obviously, but this looks good. This is how I look at it. So I do look at this as a 5 up. All right, Jonathan for 5 AMD. Yeah, so I'll show you how to day trade AMD, and I don't really day trade that stuff, but I know people like to do day trading. So for day trade, I always go to the 15-minute, the 45-minute first. So right away, you've got a breakout, right? So what I love about these breakouts is you have something you can trade against. So we have this breakout here, right there. So this downtrend is over. You're in a new cycle higher. Typically, you'll get another swing higher. So the question is, this low at 153 has to hold, okay? So 153 has to hold, or you'll get a whole new swing lower. So that's not good if you're going to try to buy the dip and day trade this. So now if you look here, you have 3 waves down here. So there's this 2 set. So the question is this a new cycle, or is this part of wave 2 still? So we need to go to the 15-minute. We'll have to go to a shorter time frame, and we'll need to look a little bit different. So as you can see, we bottomed out at this 2, the 15-minute reset the cycle here. So this is the connector. So this is a new cycle. So this downtrend is over. So we're in a new uptrend. Here's the uptrend. But you look, we only moved in 3. But we need to go to even a shorter time frame to see, is this up in 3 or up in 5? If it's up in 5, then this is more likely to be a low. If it's up in 3, then it's probably going to fail. So we have to go to the 5-minute, and you can see no divergence. It still looks very 3 waves. I don't see an impulse. So there's only 2 possibilities that I could force a bottom in when a wave looks like this. I could call this 1 here and a flat, and an A, B, C. And if that's a flat, then this is a 1-2, which means this is going to go much lower, which would probably break this low. So if I was day trading this, I would actually short it against this peak at 162.75. And I would be looking for either another swing lower, this is a connector, and we'll take one more dip lower. But we would still respect this low at 153. So again, this is a day trader's forecast. I don't do this a lot, but let's see how we would project the target, and that gets us to a double bottom here. So I would say right now the market is bearish against this peak at 162. I wouldn't want to take long positions until 162 breaks. New long positions. I think it's set up for a reversal potentially here, like that, and then something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. So I'd be looking for something like that. You got to do what's best for you, and that's the day trade. A drop, and then you close out your puts or whatever, and then you buy calls. And then you let it rip. And look, you have this little gap here. So probably this gap could even fill on that drop right there. And that could be your target. That lines up with the target I just showed you. So that's how I day trade AMD. We can come back in a few days and see if I was right or not. If we break 163, then it's negated. It's negated, and then it's just going to continue higher. And then I would put the 2 here. And then I would put this like a 1, 2 as a flat. Like put the 2 here, 1, 2. So very, very tough chart, like where it is now to day trade. It's really tough. It would be nice to have a little more data to get more confirmation. Like maybe you wait till this breaks. Maybe you sit on the sidelines, wait till 160 breaks, then you can short it down. Or you wait on the sidelines, you wait to see 163 break, and then you go buy calls. And then just here, you just kind of wait and let the market tip its hand. instead of trying to guess. That's probably the better way. All right. Next, Alex for 5 Dogecoin. Yeah, we haven't looked at Dogecoin in a while. Let's take a look at that. Here it's at the bottom. It's in like a buy area. Wonder, let's see if it's still valid or not. So we're looking for this 5th wave capitulation. It looks like we got it. It did extend, so we need to just confirm if divergence was erased or not, because we're in a flat correction. Let's take a look. We still have divergence. 4-hour. Did we erase divergence or not? Oh, it's so close. Yeah, I think I would be still careful for one more low. That may be divergence, which is why we stopped out. You would have stopped out here. So this is this flat is extending lower, and that's sometimes what flats like to do. And there's just no way to avoid that situation. And we'll have to just kind of relabel everything. Have to relabel things, and it just extended to the downside. Yeah, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'll put that 3 here. So something like this. So yeah, it's going to need more downside now, and now that, where are we on the bigger cycle here? Because it's so deep, it's not a wave 4 anymore. So this is another 1, 2. It's a 1, 2. So we have another 1, 2. So we're correcting this whole move. So if that's the case, I would expect 10 cents between the 4 and the 2. And let's get a new target for that correction. So it just turned into a higher degree correction. Yeah, 10, 6, 4. This area is now the new target. As we extend lower here, we're going to have to change up the chart on this. WX. Yeah, let's change up this chart a little bit because we have a deeper correction now. So this triple turned into a higher degree W, another X, another Y, and there's your A, B, and now we're at C. Or did we take that? That's the higher peak. All right, so that's actually more bullish. So that gets rid of a swing. There, so one more low. One more low. Just like Litecoin, probably one more low. So that's how I look at this chart. So it morphed into just a slightly different structure. And so now that it's at a 3-wave structure, we need divergence erased on the higher time frame. And it looks like you're doing that. It looks like you already did that. So yeah, it just had a higher degree correction, which is actually more bullish in the long run. But you'll have to do what's best for you. But this would be the opportunity right there for it. And it would just be like wave 1, wave 2, and I'd put this one like right there. So you have like a 1, 2, and some kind of 1, 2, and we could come back later and maybe get rid of this and just call this entire move the cycle, but we'll worry about that later. So that's how I look at Dogecoin. And then Wolf. Let's see here. Wolf broke the high, so it negated the bearish count, and that is good for the bulls. So it's going to take another swing higher. So now that we broke this high, I would be looking for more upside. um, somewhere around 525, 658. So it's you know, it's going to find sellers again here. It may have already done that. The only way we need to look for divergence being erased. We haven't done that. We need this peak taken out. So more than likely there's more upside to come as it makes another move higher. And yeah, the weekly will come up. So yeah, more upside will happen. And what this ended up being here is some kind of 1-2, 1-2, 1-2 setup is what this turned into in the Y leg. So it's something like this. It turned into something like that. So I think it's got more upside. But when I see those divergences erased, then I would know we're probably coming to the end. All right, next super chat, Eddie for 5. Core INMD Siri. Not familiar with. Let's see here if we've done these before. Looks like we've had this before. So this looks like impulse down, 3 waves. We need an impulse lower. We have bullish divergence. So this could be bottoming at any moment for either a wave 4 rally, relief rally, or a low. Yeah. So this is in an area that it could bottom at any moment, a reverse higher. I mean, the wave 3 is somewhere here. So you see you're in wave 5. So this is almost over. So we should bounce back up to $10, and if you're lucky, you get the $20 rip in a 3-wave move. So I don't know what the market will decide to do. You'll have to do what's best for you on that. INMD, let's see here. In mode, yeah, that's one I haven't seen in a while. Big pump and big dump. Nice connector that failed. You know, it did an erase divergence. That looks like, let's see here. Yeah, 5 down, some kind of A, B, C. And the C leg is extending lower. Yeah, it's running out of room to the downside. I don't know what these guys do, but whatever they do, they're in a lot of trouble. So more downside, the C leg has to play out more. It may come all the way back down to these lows. I wouldn't like to trade it or buy it. I would stay away from it. Then it's SIRI, Sirius XM. Oh, one of those. What are these? Does it pay a dividend, or one of these low PE, high dividend? Okay. Nice low, right? And then boom, and now we're coming down. So looks like a flat correction of some kind. Here, bullish divergence, but that wick, it's too bad about that wick here. Three, 4. We have to go to a weekly time frame. So that looks good for a massive low there on the weekly. All right, so it is in a new bull cycle from this low. The question is where are we in this mess? Corrective bounce. Corrective bounce in a connector wave, which means we should get another swing higher later. So I think in this mess we're in some kind of corrective bounce. And then right, and then B, C. So let's just kind of take this one step at a time if we can try to figure this out. So this kind of some kind of W. So we're in some kind of X wave. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. This is the whole corrective sequence lower. So this 3, 3, 3 for another small degree W, X, Y, or ABC as a flat for X. And then X, so we need an impulse down in C. So that's the only way to time where X is going to end. And the best way to do that is to try to extend this. And I'd be looking for $2.12, but it could have already bottomed. See, 245. It's pretty close already. But let's look at the this impulse and see if there's an actual impulse, or we need a 4 and a 5. We may be in wave 4. Yeah, we're in wave 4. So I think you're going to get a 4 and a 5, and we're just starting wave 4 to create that bullish divergence you want to see. So maybe wave 4 could go all the way back up to 351 even, but then I do think you've got wave 5 coming, and then that should do it. And then you'll see a massive move higher that lasts many years, but it's a corrective structure. So ultimately, when this ends, whenever this ends, Sirius ends. For whatever reason, I don't know. But do what's best for you. All right, next is, let's see here. I've got another super chat for Ryan Toller. Thanks. Let me go through your stocks. VLKPF. Let's look at that. Volkswagen and then EVO. Evolution. All right, VL keep Volkswagen. It's pretty much sideways. If this chart is right, looks like 5 up, 3, 3. We held the low. Looks like a 1, 2. Could be a 1, 2, 1, 2 setup, right? That's always bullish, right? It looks like to me some kind of 1, 2, 1, 2 setup. Let's see. So this looks like 5 off the low, right? Right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you put the 1 there. Then you have a connector, some kind of impulse. Could be a triple correction. Let's look at divergences and see. You took the peak. See how you took that peak out on the monthly, and this is really a monthly cycle. So yeah, more than likely that's a major low. So this thing's trading in. This is another one. It's like backing into the low. It really technically can't break 104 without negating the chart. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here with bullish divergence. So yeah, this thing looks like it's got some really good news about to drive this thing higher. And grand super cycle wave 3. So this could be a great potential investment opportunity right now for strong believers in Volkswagen. That's the chart. Now, of course, we take this low out, then we'll probably take that low out, and then it's negated, and then it's a bearish structure, and I wouldn't like to be in it anymore. EVO looks like 5 down with bullish divergence here, but let's see on the monthly. It looks like 3, we bottomed, but then we took that low out. Let's look at the weekly. We do have bullish divergence off that low. We reset. Yeah, so maybe it's a triple correction. So I would call this like a 1, 2, 1, 2. So this is, again, a very bullish count. Very bullish count. And should be ready to come out of this to wave 3. If we look here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 3, and that should be pretty much over here or close to it. Yeah, capitulation on the daily. So yeah, this looks pretty good. Again, we need to hold 930. If that holds, you're going to have a lot of upside and a lot of gains coming from Evolution AB. What do these guys do? What does these guys do? Casinos, games, that type of thing. I mean, classical charting, right? It looks like a big bull flag, right? It looks like a massive bull flag. Right? And then boom. So yeah, I would not and then A, B, C, D, E. So this even meets the bull flag. Like, so this is good. This is a good long opportunity. EVO is a good long opportunity. If you can get it, it looks like it trades on a different Stockholm. Okay, thanks for bringing that to our community's attention. Mark V for 5. I sent it 20 on. Oh, but I missed. Oh man, sorry about that. Yeah, let me do that. Sometimes that happens. I get all these super chats. Hard to keep up with that sometimes. Let's see, DXB. And then the other one is WWI. And then WKT. ASX. All right, ASX. All these are ASX plays, it looks like. DXB. That looks like an impulse. Looks like a flat correction that ended here. You know, A, B, C, right? So it could be a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Or it could be a connector, but basically you have to trade against $17. If not, then this will go low. This will go much lower because this corrected this whole move, so it'll take a whole nother swing lower. So you could try to look at these other waves. No divergence here, no divergence there. So I would be really careful trading it. It seems more likely I'll take another swing down than up. Yeah, see, let's look at this B wave and see what happened here. Yeah, see, that's a real deep wave 1. So we didn't get enough separation. We didn't get enough separation in wave 3 yet. So yeah, I expect more downside coming. You have to do what's best for you. Something like that. Now this could still be a connector. Just keep this in mind. This too could still be the connector. But whatever this is, I don't like to trade it into. So it's really a coin flip if you're going to get a pump. But it seems like to me there's more downside coming. This WWI is a minor. And looks like that's the major low. Right there is a major low. And some kind of flat correction. Let's see here. You know, we could put that here, it doesn't matter. I think we just need that 0.009 to hold, but more importantly 0.004. So somewhere in this area. If we break this low, then it's negated. But it looks like to be an ABC of a 1, 2, 3, 4, and we have wave 5. And if this is 4, yeah, maybe perhaps it could go a little bit lower, 0.007. So it's tough to say, but it should be coming out with a reversal at any moment. You'll have to do what's best for you. In a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or we're still in 5. So either 5's done here, or we're still in it. This looks like 3 up, 3 down, and then we have an impulse. All right, so we have an impulse off the low. So I'll have to look at it a little bit different count. So it looks like this is an impulse. So I would go with the more bullish interpretation, looking at the RSI I just saw. So again, that low at 0.087 really needs to hold. Let's see, you broke the cycle here with that peak. So this is a pretty important level that has to hold. Still looks like 3 waves. And bullish divergence, it's coming down, so it still looks like to me there's your bullish divergence here. Some kind of 1, 2, so something like this. I'll be looking for like 0.098. Like there, like it's pretty much there. It's pretty much there, but I didn't see the divergence. I want to take this divergence out. We just need a little bit more downside. Yeah, a little bit more downside. And then hopefully you can come out of that count. If we take out this pivot, then it negates the bullish count, and it should go it'll go much lower. All right. Next, Anonymous for 12. Thanks, Anonymous. Hut, CLSK, and a few, and Riot. Yeah, I was looking at Riot earlier. All right, so let's see here. We had Hut. We called that low here. It looks like that worked out. Looks like our wave 5 ended here. We put our 1 there. We put our 2 there. And it looks like we're in, wave 3. Yeah, it looks like it's about to moon. Yeah, this could be anything. I'll just leave it that. So look to me, we took this peak out. So yeah, ready to do a nice pump or moon here. And then the next one is CLSK. It looks like to me we're still in this sideways consolidation. I want to see it hit 1265. So we had it in like a flat with an impulse. It could still be that with this wave 2 just extended, but I typically there's too much sideways price action. So I'm going to have to relabel this as a more complicated corrective structure of some kind. So what I would do is do, let's see, A3 up. So we'll do this. So there's no divergence. So yeah, we'll label this as a different corrective structure. 3, 3, 3 for a larger degree W. And then this is some kind of X, Y. You know, A, B, C, D, E. Although we broke that peak, so that negates that. Let's see, one. If we're in there, let's take another look here. Yeah, so put the X there, put Y there, and then 1, 2, 3. So I'd have to do something like this. Like that. Because this peak is below that peak. I don't like trading it. I just like buying it if it hits here. I don't really care what this count is, to be honest. This is where people with Elliott wave can get all wrapped up in like labeling and stuff. I just don't really care. I just will only buy it if it comes down here. That's it. Here I just ignore it. Riot. Our target has always been 683, and hopefully we're about to get there. Very close to race divergence. We're still in that corrective. This leg is still, we're still in this corrective leg. So that took out the divergence. So the weekly cycle is broke out bullish. So you got to put the low at 785, right? You know what's funny is it hit our black line. Remember, I just drew this black line up. I said almost, there's no rule in any rule book. At my Elliott wave sage rule, it always says halfway between the 4 and 2, and I drew the line, and look. So more than likely, that correction's over, and this is done here. It's about to go into wave 3. And that looks like 3 waves, right? So what would negate that would be we break this low, obviously. This looks like 3, so really even breaking 878. So very, very interesting. I wonder if Riot's about to pump for some reason. Again, if we do break this pivot here, then I actually don't like trading it or buying it because of the bounce that we had breaking the weekly cycle. All right, thanks Jordan for 5. Let's go to MLI and Adobe. I have Adobe, of course. I'm in that, and that's been a battle for me, but a battle that I won, and the bears did not win from me. MLI. Let's take a look at this thing. Wow, this thing is going vertical. Okay, so let's go to the monthly cycle. Monthly peak hasn't taken this out, so believe it or not, we still haven't seen the most upside more than likely. Here we did bottom out in some kind of flat correction. So this looks like some kind of 1-2, 1-2 setup here. And we're vertical. So the question is when will wave 3 end? I think it's going to continue to extend. Here you have a cycle that ended, so this is another 1-2 here. Man, what does these guys do? Wow, this is a massive opportunity for wave 3 of 3 breakout to really get this thing's got more upside. So this is the stocks that you really want to like buy the dip on that look like this right now. So let's take a look if we can get a trade. It may have been right here at 53. Let's see how deep that wave 2 went. Yeah, you reset that 4 hour, but you're still not all clear. So you're still in a corrective cycle. You're still in wave 2, but I don't see a good trade setup, a clear one. I don't see a clear trade setup. Maybe that's the connector. And it already bounced, so maybe this is a new connector. So yeah, this is that's how I look at this. What do these guys do? Why is this thing going vertical? Manufacturer of copper, brass, aluminum, and plastic products. It operates through piping, industrials. So it's metal. It's an industrial metals play. So it's obviously undervalued. And what's its market cap? $6 billion. So yeah, this one's a buy to dip. If the market, let's just say what the hell, you know, well it drops, and this is a connector. It drops to 50, 48. I would like to buy that. I'd like to buy that for a swing trade. To play this, get in on this wave 3, a 3 coming. That's how I'd like to play that. Yeah, and I'll add that to my watch list here. Let me add that back on here. There. Okay. Adobe is just ended a major cycle, and we'll probably never see the 400s ever again, is my hope. But we still need not all clear. Massive cup and handle. I believe the cup is done, the handle is finishing up, and then we'll get a massive breakout. So I do believe it's in a new bull market higher. But in the short term, it does look like this fifth wave is finishing up. But as you saw with NVIDIA, it can easily erase divergence and go higher. So, but I would say the most likely path is wave 5 should end at any moment, and you should get a big pullback to somewhere down in this area for another swing higher. All right, thanks for the super chat. Let's go to S1 Dearborn for 10. Let's see, GOEV, Crisp, BlackBerry, short oil trade. What is GOEV? I never heard of them. Let's see. GOEV, Canoe. Been pretty much a bear market since its existence. It's not even a point to try to mess with this chart, but I'll take a look here. Connector, first wave down in 3, or it looks like a triple, and then down, and then you have your connector, your A, your B, and now you're in your C, and you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for a 1, 2 here. And now you're in some kind of 3, 4, 5. Let's take a look. So yeah, we still need more downside. This is still hasn't seen its 3 of 3 moment yet. So it looks like to me. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is like another 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for another 1, 2. and then boom. So wish I had better news, but if you're shorting it, it looks like you're there's more downside, but again, we could still be in this wave 2, but I do think we haven't seen the wave 3 because we haven't took this peak out. We need that we need this boom, we need to take that peak out, we need the rise, and then we need to finish with bullish divergence. So this needs a lot more time to go lower before it's ready to roll. CRISPR Therapeutics, yeah, I have that on my list here. I'm not even going to try to find it. I'll have to just type it in. Let's take a look. Looks like 5 down from the peak with bullish divergence. Let's look at the monthly, even the monthly. So more than likely we're in some kind of connector wave. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That looks like 3 up. Yeah, it doesn't look good. Looks like it's in some kind of ABC correction. I wouldn't want to trade it on the long side. But when this 5 is finished, there'll be a low. I don't know where that will be, but I think that pattern is going to break and you're going to get capitulation. Next is BlackBerry meme stock, right? Small cap. We broke that low, massive connector for a big move down. Looks like 5 down. Yeah, 5 down, big move lower. So I won't draw the earlier waves. So look at A, B, C. So we need, if the company can even stay in existence, we need this wave C to finish. And there's no guarantee it will even be in existence. Now could this be it? Let's see. No. We need the RSI to come and take those peaks out. So it's a 1-2-1-2 setup. So again, lower for some reason. Again, it may be people are anticipating it going bankrupt or something. I don't know, or reverse splitting or dilution or whatever it is. But you can't argue this pattern. This pattern is what I call the go to zero chart. I mean, look, it's a massive head and shoulders that essentially is go to zero bankruptcy chart. So there's other meme stocks to try to go in on. This is definitely not a good looking one. But if it could play out these series and still be around, yeah, then there'll be one hell of a pump, man, in the future. SCO, I think, is that short oil. Oil's, I believe, trading in a triangle, so it's kind of screwed that trade up a little bit. But let's take a look at where things are. So we did have this 3-wave move. We had the buy area at 16 and it went vertical. Now the question is, did it finish a 3-wave move? And then oil's going to go to the moon, 120, 130, or is it a flat correction in wave 2? So I tend to believe it's like this, but we'll see what the RSIs have to say, and we'll go from there. So here you have no divergence at the peak. So that's probably a 3-wave move. That'd be 1534. So somewhere in this area, it should find support here. Before we're still in the correction. So oil could still go up just like we have on our chart for oil on my market update. So I think there's more downside. This could be a 1, 2, 3, 4. I could get one more low down here and then hopefully get this wave 3. But this was just like a false breakout. You see a false breakout and it got slammed back down. But my guess is this will stabilize and will go higher. I would be surprised if it you know, if it's corrective and it's already finished, but this is truncate, that would mean oil's going vertical, guys, and that would be bad for the economy and gasoline and everything. So I don't know, but the key level is 1441. So yeah, speculative play is right here. And to me, it looks like it did a flat correction of some kind in a flat. And those flats can be nasty. Those flats really destroy traders because they don't know what's going on. Something like that. And if we get that, then we can get this wave 3 later and get up to this $21 area. Okay, iSeeker. Thanks for the 10. INJ, yeah, I have some of those that crypto here. INJ. INJ, let's see what's going on with INJ. It's been a while since we've been in it. So let's see. Some kind of flat correction. Yeah, it just did a flat. It's got to hold this low at 1788. It's basically you're backing into a low. So yeah, I would say it's bullish against that low with a very low risk, high reward entry here. And that looks like I mean, I don't have to really do a lot of analysis to see that's impulsive and that these are 3 waves and some kind of 3-wave move. So that's what I'm looking for here. It's like a 1-2-1-2. Now, if this low breaks, then it's a WXY, and then it's going to go much lower. So that's why you got to have a hard stop there, in my opinion. PHA, is that another crypto? PHA. We haven't looked at that in a while. PHA is in the buy area. Although we see how we bounced there, we may have negated the setup. I do like it because it's between the 4 and the 2. So that's good. Erase divergence. Yeah, so it's just, I would say this one's a buy right now. As people are watching, this is a buy setup. And let's see if we can pinpoint our target. And we're in it, where I would expect it to bounce. We called this one right before, guys. Look, we called this literally where the wick almost hit it. So I wonder if we'll get lucky again on this PHA. Fa la. You know, fa la la. You know, look at that. I'd like to buy that. And then let's see, what else do we have? SNX. I don't know if that's a crypto or not. I don't think we've done that symbol before. I'm going to assume it's a crypto that you want. All right, so this one's different chart. It's almost in the go to zero when it breaks this pivot here. I call those cryptos go to zero charts, and that's typically what happens, but not all the time. But it's held so far. It does look like it's got 5 up. So as long as that 142 holds, it's good to go. You see that bullish divergence? So, I mean, to me, this is just, you know, something like, you know, something like that. Whoops. Looks like some kind of flat there, so probably put the 1 there. I don't know, put it here. Yeah, maybe it's some kind of lead-in diagonal, moving in 3 swings. But whatever it is, this is the only count that I can see that makes sense to me right now. And of course, if that breaks, then it's gonna take a whole nother swing lower because this move corrected the entire pump. So essentially, it's a go to zero play if that happens. EGLD, I think we've done that crypto before. EGLD. Let's see here. So we're looking for this sell area. Look, we tagged it perfectly, and we dumped. We're looking for C. So we had this chart We found, it just it played a lot of, you know, it was tough to try to trade it because it was a connector wave, but it finally hit the sell area. It dumped. It looks like it's in wave C. So we're looking for just like this low to break on this move lower. But let's look at some RSIs to see, yeah, see how the RSI is about to take that out. So we're getting close. We're getting close. So I think it just needs another swing lower. Actually, let me take that back because this bounce is too extreme. So we have to do this. We're gonna have to do that. So yeah, see. This is some kind of flat then. That's why it's looking odd. So I would say it's bullish against 2240, 2022.8, because the sequence is over. I think it was just coincidence it hit this area and dumped. As long as it stays above 2021.81. This is some kind of flat is what I would look at this as. Yeah, because this reset the cycle. If we do break this low, then you've got a really shallow connector for the entire move. Again, that would be a go to zero moment. So this is so you have to back into the low here. You have to back into the low here. You have to back into the low right there. And if this has to hold, where the structure, the whole market structure of this is gonna break down pretty bad. And I think this was just a coincidence. It sold off there. All right, Deep Singh. Thanks again for the super chat. It looks like you asked for Broadcom here. Broadcom, AVGO, Broadcom. Let's take a look at Broadcom here. So we were topping out in this wave 5, something like that. Well, that's pretty extreme. Yeah, I still label it like this. So I think this is the count. I think this is the count. Now, we could also have like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then get a 1, 2, another 1, 2. So it could morph into a lot of things, but this divergence got erased here. But see, it didn't here. See, that's the key. So yeah, I think I'm gonna change this up a little bit and go with a different count. And out. And it continues to extend. So maybe you fill this gap here. But remember, it can even come back down to this. That's a pretty big drop. But I do think it's a buy. You want to see this peak taken out. Yeah, something like that. All right, Palantir, please. Florian Rebruner, thanks for the 6 euro. Palantir turned early right? Turned early, which always means it's susceptible to fail. But we'll have to look at the RSIs to see if there's clues or not. Let's see if I can find it. There it is. Again, could it be this? See, if we never got to the real area that I wanted to buy it in here. So this could still be 3 waves, and we just we come back down later. I do think ultimately we're correcting the entire cycle. So I wouldn't be surprised to see one more leg lower. So I'm still looking for this push lower. I still look for it. It really could happen at any moment. And it may have already started its turn with this big dump right there. If it could take out this high, then it truncated. This 2 truncated. It is super bullish, right? So I still don't like, for my system, I still don't like to FOMO in here. I like to wait and buy this leg lower. And there'll be a buy entry potentially coming up right around 1952 if this can play out like I have it here. Okay, anonymous for 5, BT, let's take a look at that, BT. Do I still see it hitting it? Let's go back and just see if there's anything that changed my mind. So we're looking for a flat correction. We have an impulse up. Could this be the low, right? And we're already finished. We'll have to go to the higher time frames and see if how the divergences look. You see how you erase divergence here, and then you reset the cycle. So this does support a view like that. But if that's the case, I mean, if you look at this, do you really see 5 waves here? I don't really see 5 waves. I mean, there's just no way I see an impulse in C here. I just don't see it, but I do see a 3-wave move lower. So I see 3, and I see 5 here still, and I see 3. So what that tells me is we're still in B. So I don't know if that's the low because we're still in B, but I still think we're in some kind of consolidation phase, a B. But more than likely, then we're going to go higher as B tries to finish out its sequence. So maybe something like this. And if this is the case, then it won't. It will just retest the low. It will just come back and like retest the low. So I have to say something like that. But now that this is the count, and you're trading in a connector, I would look at the long side of the trade now and look for the C leg to play out is an impulse, and that's what we're seeing. It looks like here you've got 1, 2, and it looks like you're pulling back in wave 2. So you're probably going to get an entry back to 223. So you could probably pick this up again around 223, 230, and then just play it to the upside and see what happens. And maybe I'm wrong and it moons. I mean, but I think there could be rug pull somewhere along the way. But I think it's bullish now above 177. So I don't see it dropping below that right now. All right, so let's see where I'm at. Anonymous, thanks. Alex, for 3, BlackBerry. I already gave a BlackBerry update earlier, and I showed that breakdown happening. And then QRTEA, what is that one? Looks like to me we've got 3 up. Corrective bounce, and we're impulsing down, which starting to show bullish divergence, but we did reset the cycle here, so it could be about to have a big move lower. Let's see. Yeah, this could be already finished. It could be about to go into wave 3 to the downside. So I would be careful trading it long. But to me, it looks like it's gonna take at least a big push lower, and then we'll see what happens. Oh, EVO on the Nasdaq. Okay, I'll go back and do that one real quick. On the Nasdaq. Okay, there it is. Not a lot of chart data to do a proper analysis. Looks like an impulse lower of some kind. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's some kind of impulse. And then this is this just needs to finish. And you see you haven't had the wave 3 moment yet. So you're still in 1s and 2s. So I still think it's got more downside. When that wave 3 finishes, it'll race divergence. It'll take this peak out. That's what I'll be looking for. But I think it's got a lot more. It's got more downside coming. All right. Then popcorn tuna, DJT and crypto. Yeah. So let's see DJT and crypto. Let's take a look. That's at meme stock. Meme stock DJT. I was looking at that, and I think it hit a buy area last week. I think it hit a buy area last week, but I'm not interested in it. Yeah, so this was kind of the buy area, but it even broke through it. I didn't buy it, but this is the count. It should hold this. It should hold this low at 22.34. So I would just say that it looks like it's about to reverse. So there's your downtrend line. So we don't have confirmation, but it's any moment. I hope to see this wave 3 come. So if we break 22.66, then the bullish chart is negated, and I don't like trading it, and it could really have a catastrophe. And then crypto, I believe we've done this one before. I thought we had it. All right, let's see. Let's take a look at what's going on with this Jasmine. Ooh, always like these kind of basin patterns. Basin patterns are good. They lead to some spectacular pumps typically as it comes out of the basin. So to me it looks like 3, 4, 5, right? This is a 4 triangle 5. So yeah, so this looks like, to me, we're up in one, like we're finishing the first impulse off the bottom, and now we're correcting it. So it's going to have more consolidation. I mean, this would be too early for me to think, because normally you'll drop all the way back to the wave 4 cluster, which is down in this area, but it won't be a straight line. And the correction just started. This wave 5 peak, but we don't have confirmation, right? You don't have confirmation yet. So what that tells me is we could still be in wave 5. So you can't get too bearish yet. It could still be wave 5, and we still continue the moon. So I would just say that this is why cryptos are so hard to trade. Because of these situations, like an extended fifths are so hard to predict. The buy area would be right here at 0.0256 to try to time that wave if it's a wave 2. So we'll see what happens. It's definitely not a low. It hasn't come down to reset the whole thing. So it's still, I would still label it within wave 5. But if we could go lower with more intensity, then I would relabel this, put 5 here, and then just say it's a 1, 2. How do you gaps factor into Elliott waves? Yeah, so Elliott waves, they don't really consider gaps, but I do in terms of just my trading philosophy. I bring in other things besides Elliott waves into how I trade. And I do look at gaps to some extent as if price is in the vicinity of them, they tend to fill. I don't trade and go, oh, there's a big gap. Like, oh, there's a big gap in, I don't know, what gapped up really hard last week. Like we saw, I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but let's say something gaps up really hard. I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm just going to short it because the gap's going to fill. Like, I don't do that. But now if I'm trading and I see it's in a gap and it's like, this is my buy area, I'll be like, okay, the gap's probably going to fill. I need to factor that into my, my entry. Viking Therapeutics is a good example of that, right? It's in a buy area, but the gap, so it's like I got to understand that gap could fill. So I got to understand how I manage my money and my entry in Viking. All right, Iceman, Icy, Celsius, when, so Celsius is trying to turn. Celsius, it wants to bottom. My pinpoint entry was right here in this area, and this was a nice reaction. It's probably bottomed here. It's probably starting to form its impulse out. So I'm saying it's probably done here. And this would be a grand super cycle too. This would be a massive low for it. But again, it has to hold 56.62. This bounce, correct it, the entire downtrend. So if that breaks, then wave 2 is then I would dump it. I would definitely not want to be in the trade anymore. Win is one that I think we've done before on our channel. Here. When here is when is we had this label before. It's actually an ABC, but let's see here. Why did I label this way? Yeah, I'm not sure what I was thinking in here, because this is yeah, let's see. Yeah, let's go back and redo this. But see, you broke that low here. That's not good. That's not good. But let's just keep. Let's just not get too bent out of shape. And then because see, this low broke here, it negated the bullish setup, in my opinion. So this is a very hard corrective structure to analyze. But my best guess is something like this. for a capitulation wave. This should break. It should come back. Wow, that's a huge drop. That seems impossible, right? I mean, are they going bankrupt? Like, what's their financial situation? Like this is predicted they're going bankrupt. So I don't know. I don't know the company's financial situation that well, but there's your math. This is a lot. Like every time it can't make a higher high. It's just not been able to make a higher high. So I don't know what's going on with it. I see a bearish setup in this that I don't like to trade it. And then look, it's the same price it was all the way back in 2006. So it's been dead money. So I just don't like to trade it. I don't know what's going on with this corporation, but I see a capitulation wave coming to the downside. And what would negate that is if we can actually make a higher high, which it has not been able to do really since 2014. So the odds say that you're going to get a more downside. That's what it seems like to me. But you'll have to do what's best for you on that. Again, I don't know. Maybe they own a lot of properties that just aren't worth what they think they're worth. I don't know. And then PSX. So I think we called that top. So we should be doing just like I have here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A should be finishing at any moment. Get a nice bounce and one more low unless we erase divergence, and we haven't done that. So I'm looking for this. That's it. All right, IC, thanks. Mark V for 10. It looks like I got through all my super chats. A lot of super chats today. I appreciate all the super chats, guys. I always go through all of them. I'll stay on and do that. SLX looks like a higher degree correction. All right, let's see. Let's take a look. Could it be a higher degree correction? We'll just kind of erase some of this. All right. Higher time frame. So the first cycle, this cycle is here, and it ended and was corrected here, and that's here. So there's one cycle right there. So that degree correction is done. This corrected this, so this is over. So now we're in this cycle. So the question is where are we correcting? And now that we have more data, we can try to analyze it and see we just broke. But it's too soon. It's too soon to say I think it's a higher degree or not. Yes, it could be this, and we'll drop to $4 and out. It could do that, but it could be what I had earlier. But it's until I get a bigger break lower, then I'm not worrying about it. But I think either way, it should go higher because this cycle, like this will, whatever happens here should end in more upside, even if it's this. That'd be a 1-2, right? That would become a 1-2. So yeah, maybe it is a higher degree correction. Now that we have more data. Oh, DXB. Oh, did I pick the wrong one again? Yeah, I don't even know what's this. Turkey? Is that the Turkey Stock Exchange? All right, let's take a look. Looks like 3, looks like 5. Okay, so this looks good. Five up. That looks like 3. So yeah, this one looks like it's doing really nice. So this one is definitely by the dips. It's still in the yeah, this is for me, this is still about to have a really big move higher, even though uh, because we haven't take out this peak yet. Look at where this wave. This can't be your wave 3 peak. Look, so you haven't even had your wave, like, so you got more upside. So this is a by the dip and 3 waves chart. So there could be an entry coming up. Let's say you want to get in on this thing. If it gives you this opportunity and it drops to 49.5, 47.5, that could give you this opportunity for probably a big move higher, another big move higher. All right. Okay, looks like I got another super chat come in. Meta, let's take a look. So we had the buy area in Meta, and let's see where it's going. So Meta was tricky, like AMD. So I think Meta's just going to do like what AMD did. So see, we had, look, this was the buy area. It's always been at 494. Everyone's like, oh, this is it. And then, oh, shit, it's not it. Oh, it's not it. And now here we are again. So I think this is just going to be accumulated here. But let's just double check where we need to be on this. Just double check everything. Yeah, so maybe a little bit lower. Oh, what a coincidence! Look, that's where those wicks tag. You see those wicks right there. So it's probably already bottomed, but we obviously don't have confirmation yet. So it's just playing games with traders like AMD did. But I'm pretty confident it's going to come out of this. It's going to come out of this. But let's look at some RSIs. Oh yeah, see it's race divergence. It looks good. So yeah, I think this is already bottomed, or if you get lucky, and again, if it wants to do something stupid and drop into this area, just buy it. Just buy it. I mean, is what I would do, because you have a 1-2-1-2 setup. But of course, you guys got to do what's best for you, and I can be wrong. And I guess the only way I could be wrong is this 4 is much higher degree cycle. Let's take a look at where we are with some of our cycles on this. Yeah, we gotta be careful. Gotta be careful. Yeah. Yeah, I think caution is warranted a little bit. It really needs to bounce early in the week. But you see that crossover here on the daily like that with this 3-way move. So that's a new piece of data. So we need to be careful with it. We need to be careful. Just kind of looking at it. Could we get a bigger 4? It's matched up against this. It can't. It would overlap. So, and then that would become another 1-2. So that would negate the wave 5. So, yeah, this is the daily cycle broke. I mean, you can't ignore that situation. But I would, if I was trying to trade this, I would still be in it in this area. And again, you see there's a gap there, so we'll pay attention to it a little bit. But you know, it's not the best setup given the daily cycle broke for the long side. We still are above this trend line here. You see this trend line? So yeah, I just it could possibly turn into with the daily cycle break. I could try to morph this into something a little different, where it's something like that, and you get a deeper correction. So just that's why the setup's not clear anymore. So it could even be something like that. But see, you don't have the divergence, so it's real tough. It's just not an easy structure anymore. But I do think it. I would expect a bounce in this area, and I won't change the labeling just yet. I want to see what happens. But I wouldn't personally. I wouldn't like to trade it. There's other things to trade that have clearer setups. But you'll have to do what's best for you on it. I would just let's look at the weekly cycle. Yeah, see, we haven't taken this peak out of divergence. Could it be a massive flat? Nah, no way, right? Let's see. Yeah, it's too high for a flat. So we're gonna get a fifth wave. We're gonna get a fifth wave. So I think the question is this four gonna go a little deeper or not? But I think the four's set. That's the 618 pullback. Happens to overlap. Yeah, tough chart. I would say, you know, if it does go deeper, then I wouldn't call it a 1-2. I would just call this some kind of wave 1 and then just some kind of 2. That's probably the safer count given what the daily cycle just did. So we're probably in some kind of wave 2. And if this is the case, the RSI peaked out where? Right here. So you'd find support somewhere around 486, but then that gap. So you probably fill the gap. So I would say, hey, you know, AMD filled the gap. What the hell? This probably fill the gap. 479. I would just look for it. I would just anticipate that. And then you have a bigger 1-2. It's still in the buy area. You hit this trend line. You see this trend line. It's like a perfect tag of that. So yeah, I would just be looking for this this gap, this area. This is where I'd be looking. Right there. Right there. And then see what happens. And this is just some kind of 5-wave move that's not a really good looking structure. That's how I'd look at that. And that's you know, with the daily cycle breaking, that probably means this whole cycle's correcting now. Okay, I've been on already for 2 hours, so I'm wrapping it up, guys. If you didn't get your questions asked, you know, with Super Chat, I do stay on to get them all. And I'll just kind of scan if there's anything quick I can do. RK, man, is if the Russell's going to go higher like I have it, RK is going higher. RK is going higher. Oh, you want to know the major wave 3 target for Broadcom? You know, because wave 3s can extend, ask NVIDIA, right? So those targets are usually really impossible to like get right, but we could try, you know, you could try to figure it out. So the key is to look at where it's a previous wave 3 had stretched out. So there's one way back in that time frame. So this is a wave 3. So as you could see, it went from 29 to 152. If I was going to do the Fibonacci projection of what that is, I'll have to take it to 0. So that went up to, it looks like, where's wave 3? So that's 3 of 3. So this is probably wave 3 and 4 right here. So it went up to the 3618 extension from the previous peak of wave 1. So now you need to find the next grand supercycle wave 1 peak. So that'd be right here. Go to 0. And see, it's already surpassed it. So Yeah, it's in uncharted territory. So if that extended at 3618, that gets us to 2000. There's another way of doing an extension. We could try this. This is the more classical way, but see, we've already passed through that. So it's you know, the problem with wave 3 extensions is it could just keep going on, like, you know, essentially is until the last, you know, dollar comes in, right? It's just going to keep going. It's FOMO, it's greed, it's all that. It just but as you can see, it's, you know, here's another one too. So you have another extension here happening. That gets us to 3,500. So yeah, I mean, it's tough to say. It's tough to say. I guess the time, like, when do I sell it? I want this monthly to take this peak out. It's about to do that. So the monthly needs to take the peak out. It needs to go down. And then you need to get bearish divergence with a higher price, just like you had here. You see what happened here? Like, even though you peaked here, it still ran, right, as you made the bearish divergence. So this has, and this went from 15 to 7, 2 years. So this, even if it peaks out in 24, 25, it's probably still got 2 more years of upside as it forms a bearish divergence on the monthly. That's when I want to sell it. So when you come back to the monthly, and when you see this, when you see that over here like that somewhat, when you see that, then it's time to sell. Until then, you just hold. There's no reason to trade in and out or do anything different. You just hold. Just hold. And it's printing money. It's printing money. And look, this is a very good pullback to get in if you missed the move, right? All right. Let me just scan comments if there's anything I can answer quickly. If Roku, yeah, I'll do Roku for you if that helps you out. Let's see, Roku is in my somewhere in here, my stay-at-home. I think it's in my stay-at-home basket if I still have that. Yeah. So it's like all these small caps. Now look, we found support between the 2 and the 4. Now it did extend well beyond where I would have wanted it, but it you know, it's probably in some kind of triple correction, but we need to see how the divergences are. So it would have been nice to raise divergence here on the daily. We didn't do that. Let's look at the weekly. We want to see a little more downside. So I think we're actually going to see some more downside in this. But I don't know how much more. Let's see if we can look at this correction a little bit closer. Looks like some kind of W, X, Y, Z. So just a little bit more downside. I mean, this low will hold, but I think you really need to get that capitulation. You need to, because we broke this low here, we need that to be taken out. If we don't do that, we're just forming a connector for the downtrend, which means we'll fail later. So this is a tough one to trade where it is right now. Like the buy setup was here, and then you're stopped out, right? Or you're you know, the trade is lost. So that's where I left it. And now it's just kind of like meandering around. So like it could do a lot of things here. It could turn into an A, B, C, and then fail later, which you get this nice pump. But it could also just drop real quick and then finish the correction. So it's just like I don't know where we'll head with it. So, but it's in some kind of wave 2. It's in some kind of wave 2, but eventually it will end. It seems as hopeless as this seemed as it was coming down, but eventually it ended, right? It ended. Eventually this will end. And then, you know, hold this low. Now, if this low doesn't hold, then it's game over for Roku. Now the problem is you shouldn't really hold and lose all that money, right? Because the way to trade this is you have, so again, how do you trade this using the system that I use? So we look for a 3-wave move down, and so you have this buy area here, right? You have this buy area right in here, okay? So that's the buy area. So you start to buy in this area, and you're also looking for divergences to be erased. It was right here, right? And it was right here. So this is where I posted. I picked it up. Good. Looks good. Uh-oh, we broke out. So we stopped out. So we bought it at 56. You stopped out at 54, and that's it. The trade's over. Because of what I just showed you, those situations. Because if you just hold it, what if it just goes to 0, right? Or it goes to, can you really hold to 40? The way to do it is you stopped out. So now you're just on the sidelines, and we're waiting. And maybe we get that capitulation. Boom. Okay, I'll take a piece of it and get back in. Oh, it rips higher. I'm on the sidelines. I won't chase it. So that's how it, and then eventually it'll go lower, and I'll see the divergence erase. I'll get back in it. And then I'm trading something else. And that's how I trade. I don't really want to fall in love with any particular stock. But it did have a good setup here. Unfortunately, you know, it had something else in mind, and that's the way it goes. And this is what Adobe did. But if you wait for that capitulation, we get that capitulation, then perhaps you can get a low like we did in Adobe. And we can beat the bears on this. But this is a brutal correction, right? Brutal setup. But yeah, it can still bounce. It could still bounce here. I mean, some people may even say it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and some kind of A, B, C even. But I don't think it's that. All right, so it's Roku for you guys. I did Tesla in my but since I just got a last minute super chat for Tesla, I'll do that real quick. Tesla is I'm hoping that we see a big breakout in Tesla next week. I mean, that's the hope. That's the hope, because that's what the chart is showing us in the setup. We have a lot of 1-2s, right? 1, 2. We had the buy here. Boom. 1, 2, 1, 2. Now what's going to happen? I'm hoping to get the breakout. So Tesla could have really good vertical price action next week. The alternative is we break down, and that means we're still in this wave too, which means we'll probably hit 175, but it still will be a good buy if and if that happens. But for right now, this is the count I have, and you'll just have to do what's best for you. I like holding it. I like accumulating it. I like just being patient in Tesla. And then Intel. Yeah, how's Intel doing these days? So we called that wave 2 bottom in. It looks like we have 5 up, and we're trying to consolidate. It looks like it's about to have a breakout. So yeah, it has to hold 29.77. So it looks like to me, and that broke higher. Yeah, so it looks like to me it wants to break out really bad. It wants to break out really bad. That's what it looks like to me. Do what's best for you. All right. Thanks, Mitso. Alrighty, I'm all set today. Good luck trading. I'll try to do another live stream tomorrow if I have time. See you guys later.